The theme of the year for robot lawnmowers is LiDAR, and there are lots of companies that are moving towards LiDAR as a primary means of navigation. And then there's the Ecovacs GOAT A3000 LiDAR Pro, and they aren't chasing current trends or playing catch up. Their LiDAR mower is on its second season already. They've been doing the LiDAR thing before it was cool, and they're really good at it. This is the second generation GOAT from Ecovacs, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. They already had an amazing mower last year, and the current version is all about tweaking the design and adding in a few extra goodies to make the whole package even better than before. I'm gonna quickly run through setup, and I mean quickly because it's insanely easy to do. There's no RTK antennas or extra wires with finicky placement with this robot. Then I'm gonna show you the all new feature for this year's model and why I don't like it. Of course, there will be shots of some pretty sweet stripage, and you know I'm gonna hit you with that pros and cons list of what I really like about this mower, and I'll give you one thing that I don't like. Scratch that, I'll give you two things that I don't like that you should know about before you buy it. But we have to start with the best part about the Ecovacs GOAT, and that's the setup. It's so easy and impossible to mess up. Now, everyone advertises quick and easy setup. That's very common with robot mower marketing, but not everybody actually pulls it off. That's not the case with the GOAT though. It's actually very, very easy. Out of the box, you have to connect the all new side trimmer. It's a plug and a few screws. Do you own a Phillips screwdriver? Well, there you go. That's all you need. Next, you have to find a location for the charging dock, and this is where things get really easy. With LiDAR, you're not searching for clear skies for an RTK antenna or anything like that. Put that dock wherever you want to. The only stipulation is that it plugs into an outlet, but the cord is fairly generous, so you should be able to find something that works. With this installed, there's not even an extra outlet, so it just tucks under the garage door and plugs in inside the garage. Boom. Done. If you want to spend more than a few minutes on your install, you could tuck the cord into the crack and really make it look seamless. The excess cord could be buried under the rocks if you wanted to go super stealth, or just run it. The dock screws into the ground with these coarse threaded landscape screws, and that's it. Done. Next up is mapping with the phone app, and you've got some options there. This robot can auto map, which means you put it down and let it run, and in theory, it creates its own map. Now, in my experience, this feature usually doesn't work that well because my yard is kind of undefined edges where the lawn just sort of fades into the woods or fades under a tree. I don't really have concrete curbing, concrete sidewalks, a lot of really defined edges for the robot to look at. That's that difference between grass and concrete or asphalt. That's what the robot needs to tell the difference between the two. It works really well if your lawn is like that. Mine, however, not so much. If you live in a new build neighborhood with poured concrete driveways and sidewalks and you own and actually use an edger, it'll probably work pretty good, but mapping manually isn't that hard. You just have to drive the robot around the perimeter using your phone as the controller. The app has lots of controls and everything is user-friendly and simple to use. Not the case with all robots, but it's one of the best user interfaces I've had experience with. Mow angle, cut height, scheduling, etc. Everything is configurable to customize your experience. Okay, boring part over, let's get to the good stuff. How does this thing mow? It's really good. It was good last year and they've done it again. With such an easy and simple setup, it almost seems like it's too easy. Like, that's it? Now it is just gonna mow my lawn? Yeah, it will. Striping is amazing, and the factors that go into this are: one, you got your deck width. It has a dual cutting disc setup, so the stripes actually have some width to them and don't look super skinny and weird like some of the lesser robots on the market. One unique thing Ecovacs does here is that they offset their cutting discs so that there's no chance of missed grass in the middle. Most companies that run dual cutting discs have them side by side like this. But since the blades can't touch, there's always going to be a little bit of a gap there. Sometimes that can lead to missed grass or kind of a mohawk effect where you have this little strip down the middle that doesn't quite get cut as well as the other grass. The GOAT, however, offsets the disc. So rather than side by side like this, it's more like this. Missed grass becomes impossible and the design pays off because the cut quality is above average, and I've tested a lot of robot mowers. It also navigates really straight, like way straighter than I can mow and straighter than a lot of my GPS-based robot mowers are performing right now. Again, not all robots run laser straight lines back and forth. They all claim that they do, but Ecovacs actually does it. Object detection is one thing people are generally interested in, and I had to test that out for you. So what happens when the robot encounters objects along its path? Well, it gets really close, stops, pivots, drives around the object, and then continues on like it was never there. Here's the goat coming up to a slide, and you can see how it noses up, gets pretty close, then actually tries to go around and get the backside a little bit too. Now, the play structure is not part of the map either, meaning it's not programmed as a no-go zone or anything like that. The robot doesn't know about it. It's completely relying on the object detection function. Here's a small ball that I'm going to toss into the mowing path. You can see it isn't very big at all. And even though to the robot, it appears out of nowhere, it still recognizes it and drives right around and keeps on going. Here's a small bench that I set in its path, and same thing. Object gets recognized and then the robot just goes around and keeps on mowing. What if I stand in its path? You know the drill. Pauses to recognize, pivots, and drives around and keeps on trucking. Really good object detection on this robot. And again, it's not the case with all robots. They all claim it, but Ecovacs nails it every time. The headline feature this year is an additional cutter that hangs off the side, and they call that the TruEdge trimming module. It's literally a mini string trimmer. Yes, actually. Now, unfortunately, with the yard setup that I'm working with, edging really doesn't come into play because the yard is rural and it has loosely defined boundaries. So this really isn't a selling feature for me, but it's still really cool. And I think for most people, it might actually be really helpful and get the robot closer to the edge of things. Most robots require you to go back over the lawn with the string trimmer and do cleanup every once in a while. And the challenge is always trying to get closer to objects and eliminate that need for extra work. The TruEdge trimmer is a step in that direction, and it's a nice built-in upgrade for this year, even if it's not super applicable to your setup like it is for me. So we've talked about what this robot is good at: razor straight striping, crazy easy operation and setup, extremely accurate object detection, freaking string trimmer that almost nobody else is offering. There's a lot to like, but I said there's two things that I didn't really like. So let's get into those. The two-wheel drive system is pretty good. And as you can see, there are definitely some hills and slopes in this yard, and it handles it fine for the most part. You can see this really steep hill by the chimney. And if you look closely, the robot doesn't go right next to it, but the map boundary does get fairly close and it mows a good portion of that hill. All-wheel drive would be a nice addition to make this robot nearly unstoppable though, and a lot of the competition has all-wheel drive products, so it would make sense for Ecovacs to go that direction. All-wheel drive robots tend to be harder on the grass for turning around, so there are some cons to have all the wheels clawing for traction, but if people have steep inclines in their yard, they might not even consider a robot like this based on all-wheel drive alone. This robot is actually set up in my neighbor's yard, and he was interested in robots, but also concerned about the giant hill in his backyard. The GOAT impressed him with its capabilities despite only having two-wheel drive, but without being able to try before you buy, he probably would not have considered this robot based on not having an all-wheel drive option. The next thing I noticed is that the capacity is rated at about 3/4 of an acre. That means you can only map and program that amount of area. That's it. If you have a huge yard, robot mowers make a lot of sense and offer massive time savings each week. But if you can only map out 3/4 of an acre, the bigger yard guys are going to pass up Ecovacs for something with higher capacity. For most people, 3/4 of an acre is plenty, but it's going to be a deal breaker for a few. And I'd love to see the reliability of the Ecovacs in a larger capacity format, something that could mow like an acre and a half. Bottom line, this robot works great and has been very reliable during my testing. I pretty much recommend this robot to anyone because it's so easy to use and incredibly capable. It was one of the most impressive standouts last year, and they've done it again for this year. If you like this video, check out some of my other robot review videos here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.